Let's talk about the Field of Dreams game. It was cool. It's real cool. The setup out there is, I didn't realize this before I went. It's directly next to the movie set where it was filmed, and you walk from the field through the cornfields to literally connecting to the field where the movie was filmed in the house and everything. And that part was super cool. The venues, like, it's beautiful. It's these rolling cornfields behind and everything. Like, that's really cool. But MLB, have to give MLB credit because MLB did it right. The setup was great. They did a really good job, like intentional taco setup out there. Really cool set. Like all of the media and all the people that were there to cover the game and make things run smoothly was super impressive. One of the coolest things, which this is a Compound Pod exclusive, so we go out before the game and we're sitting kind of waiting behind the cornfields, right, to come in from the right field wall to do that shot at the beginning of the game. You guys see that?
Yes.
Where Griffey was playing catch with his dad and stuff, right? So we're waiting back there for like maybe 10 minutes before we came out of the corn. And back there is Griffey Jr., Griffey Sr., Barry Larkin, Johnny Bench, Sandberg, Billy Williams, Fergie. Don't let me forget anybody. Hawk was back there, Dawson, but like all of the Hall of Famers, right? We're just sitting there. And Larkin starts to give Griffey shit. It was fucking hilarious. These guys just start going, chopping it up. Larkin's just shitting on Griffey for throwing him cutters from the outfield. He's like, this dude could not throw a straight ball. I'm going out for the cut. And he's throwing cutters across the outfield. I'm trying to, on relay throws. And Griffey was just saying how he never had to hit the cutoff man because his arm was too strong. He's like, what are you going to do? He was strong enough arm to get anybody out. It was gold. These guys were going back and forth. And if I had a baseball, Griffey was grabbing the ball. He was like, I threw four seamers. You know how a four seamer that a pitcher throws is across the horseshoe? Does anybody have a baseball to show people? You have a baseball? Zach, I know you have a baseball.
No, I don't.
Tom has one on his shirt.
Okay. So normally the way Tom's shirt is, the horseshoe would be on that side, right? So that would be a four seamer. Griffey grabbed it four seams right where Tom's shirt is, right across the life is good. And
it's
so
not a four seam, it's a
he was like, this is, I grabbed it four seams, and he's holding it like this. Everybody's like, what are you talking about? That's why you threw cutters. Like, that's not how you grab a four seam.
Wait, are you saying like in between the seams or over?
No, he grabbed it. He did touch four seams, but that's how he would grab the baseball from the outfield across those two seams.
Yeah. I mean, there's no way to keep that straight.
No. And everybody was cracking up, like Sandberg, Johnny Bench, all these Billy Williams, all these guys were dying laughing because that was his four seamer, was across those two seams. That's why he's the ball from the outfield was going. Whoop. That was gold. Just to be back there, hear those guys like talk, chop it up, give each other shit. That was so cool. And all of those guys, it's crazy because they span so many generations of baseball, right? From Billy Williams to Griffey, who didn't finish playing all that long ago, and they all had connections because they had played. Larkin had hit a homer off of Lee Smith, and but he had also played against Sandberg at some point, and then Griffey had played with those guys, and then Senior had played against the other guys. So it was so crazy, just like how the baseball web and how all those guys were connected. But that was probably the coolest thing. Sean Casey was there, which is really cool. Obviously, A-Rod and Ortiz had the game too, so they were there. There's people all over. That was Carlos Zambrano was there. Sutcliffe, a lot of dudes. That was really cool.
Did you get any of them for the pod or?
Yeah, we'll probably have them all on at some point.
We'll probably have Griffey next week. Cool. Heard it
yeah,
here
I
first.
think Griffey will probably be. Yeah, he'll probably be on next week. Maybe Junior and Senior together.
Perfect. Sounds like a plan.
You got bad Wi-Fi over there, huh?
Was it weird hitting there? I feel like it's super dark there.
I was gonna say that too. That was literally my next question.
I knew, Zach, I knew you were going to ask about the shadows.
Not even the shadows, just how dark the lights were.
There's two things. One was the shadows were bad. There was actually bad shadows. And the shadows kind of came across the mound, and then that hitter's eye that they built was lit up. So that it was really hard to see, kind of like second, third at bat. But it was so dark because it's just like high school stadium lights, like it was so dark by the end of the game. Like any pop-up, as soon as it was hit, like it would just go like it would go up and you'd be like, I have no clue where that is. And then it would kind of come back down. Luckily I didn't have any action out there, so I didn't really have to worry about it. But it was
you were just standing there in the outfield like this with your hands up, right?
yeah. Go where? Yeah, but it was the field was perfect though, like the condition, like ground balls and everything. It was really in really good shape. So they did a good job with the surface.
You got a hit, didn't you?
Yeah, double. Righty double.
Two hits.
Nice.
How were the jerseys? Were the jerseys huge and heavy or no?
No, they were sick. They were you got all your so like sometimes for the fans. So when you have in the big leagues, when you get a jersey, right, you get to do all of these customizations, so you can do whatever you want. So like my jersey is a 44 tapered, so 44 tapered with 1 inch shorter sleeves, and I sew the jersey so that it's not open. So there's the 2 top buttons are closed, but the rest of it's sewn shut. Like that's my jersey specs.
That just sounds so needy.
Hey,
but they offer it. Hey,
but I don't change. That's what my jersey is, and I don't ask for a different jersey every week. Same every time. So sometimes when you go to the special events or have the special games, you don't get the customization of your jersey. So like if we have a special Father's Day or Memorial Day or something jersey, most of the time it'll just be a stock 44, and then you have to just wear that. This one, they actually did full customization, so you got all your stuff. They fit great. I have never really worn cream, actually, except for Harwich, I think, in the Cape I wore cream, but like cream jersey was sick. I got really cool custom cleats.
Yeah, when did you get those made? When did you send them in?
I sent them. I got really lucky. So the guy that does mine, we'll shout out True Blue Customs. He's awesome. I sent him on a Monday. He painted them that same date him. He painted them Monday, sent them back Tuesday. So I would have him. He killed it. But they were still, I don't think they were wet, but he had to paint. They were all gray cleats that he completely painted. So he painted the sock liner and everything blue. So like my pants, so part of my pants, like the sweat and everything, like part of my pants turned blue, and like my feet were blue. The socks are stained blue. It was funny, but they ended up looking really cool. Those jerseys were sick.
That's really dope. It sounds like it's 2 for 2 for MLB, huh?
What was the first one?
The game last year.
Oh yeah. And the thing, like there was a lot of stuff out there about the audience being cut in half from last year. And I think there's a few things and people were like, yeah, it's Cubs, Reds. They're both having attention. Fine, whatever. It was still, I believe, Tom, correct me if I'm wrong, it was still the most watched game of the year.
What?
It was still the most watched. It was still the most watched game of the year for MLB, and it was the second time. Last year was the first time they'd ever held that event, so of course there was going to be a big bump. And that being the most watched game of the year, still a huge success for MLB. Really cool.
Marquee matchup, dude. Everybody wants to see it.
It's not coming back next year, but maybe it'll be back in the future.
They're not doing it next year?
No, they're not doing it next year.
Why?
But maybe I think just scheduling. I think they have to do some renovations to the actual site and the field and everything. I think it might be changing ownership hands. I'm not really sure, but what
are we doing?
It's a cool go.
They're building like a youth baseball complex there. At like
Come
so they're
on,
gonna keep like that main field. They're gonna keep the movie set field, and then like I think a couple fields over, they're gonna build like 8 diamonds and dorms and all that kind of stuff. They're gonna
You know what that says to me? Right here, all about the money.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Fortunately,
isn't everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
I think the game will come back. I think It's a great venue. I think they'll probably do it once a year, maybe more, in the future. And I think that it's a cool. I think that's a cool thing for baseball. I do. People were asking a lot at the game about like what other sites players would want to see or what would want to see. I thought that was a really interesting question. Like it takes a lot of logistics. So if you could wish up anything and it didn't matter, you know, I thought like Brooklyn Dodgers, like if you did a Brooklyn, game in Brooklyn and New York, like logistically, is that impossible? Maybe, but that would be sick. Like there's
Brooklyn Cyclones right now play at a really great park, MCU Park, out in Coney Island. So that's a potential. I know I saw as well. Historic Bossy Field in Evansville, Indiana, was being scouted as a potential site. That's where they filmed A League of Their Own. It's one of the oldest ballparks still in America. That'd be really cool. Then I saw as well that they're talking about maybe putting it at like a Negro Leagues park, I believe in Patterson, New Jersey, trying to rebuild that. That'd also be super cool. I think anything that, as you said, like that could tap into the history of baseball, like Field of Dreams did, I think would be super cool.
Yeah, I agree. Anything with the history, because the international ones are really cool. We're going to London next year. That's gonna be awesome. But yeah, some of those history of baseball places would be cool for growth of the game.
Zach,
Coda.
guess who threw out our first pitch the other day?
The guy from Rookie of the Year.
It's just not fun that it just kind of ruins the excitement. I thought I'd get you excited because you love him.
Rosenbagger.
Gardenhoser.
Did you meet Rosenbagger?
No, I don't go all the way to the dugout. I stay out in the bullpen. I stay away.
He's at Wrigley probably 2 to 5 times a year.
I thought Zach would be excited about that because I know he loves that
It's
movie.
one of my favorites. It's awesome. He's like making that like what Hamilton Porter did, like throwing out first pitches everywhere. Like, I don't know. I think it's awesome. I think it's great.
Yeah.
That movie's what, 30 years old?
Yeah,
Okay, I have a fun.
at least he looks like he's got to be in his 30s.
Yeah, I mean he's thrown in some big high leverage games before, man. Give him a break.
I have a fun game for us to play. If you guys are willing to play.
Wait, before
What's it brought to us by?
Hold on, before we do anything else, I can't believe I have to be the person to say this. I was waiting for someone else to do it. Ian promised a shout out and then delivered no shout out. I mean, if we
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right.
like
Hey, Tom, you know what, Tom? I didn't bring this up because like I'm just so tired of getting beaten down when it comes to these things. So it's like, why?
I know that you guys know that it was a 10-pitch inning. And I had no chance. Okay.
You know what that
So
sounds like to me,
I'm
Dakota?
not going to take any. And also, I
Sounds
can't
like an
control what the
excuse.
guys asked me. I wish I could have. I talked to our PR guy, and I said, "Hey, I would really love to talk about the compound when I'm on this mic." And
I don't know
guess
if I
what?
believe that you did that.
It was
I'm
a
gonna
10.
have to- did you tell Jim?
You don't think that I wanted to plug some stuff?
I actually, that's true. That is very true. You definitely.
I was ready to plug. But it was a 10
plug your hair plugs.
Hair plugs, plug my hair plugs. I could have done that too. Could have been out there taking my hat off, getting a little one of these. Could have coffee in my back pocket. Could have been doing a whole bunch of stuff. But the inning was over so fast. I do think with the mic stuff, this is my second time doing it. First time in a couple of years. I think people talk about like, oh, what if you make an error during that? What if you're distracted? It's not distracting at all, especially in the outfield. And like, I think it would be better. Here's a hot take. If you could be on that thing for like 2 or 3 innings and actually have keep a conversation going with the booth, and kind of like if something happens that half inning, then you could revisit it and be like, oh, wasn't that an awesome swing by Nico? Or like, yeah, he's been working on going the other way lately. Like he really was able to do it. Like, I think that would be so cool. And I do wish they do get to do it for national broadcast, but you have a little bit of a better relationship most of the time with your home broadcasters. Like it would be cool to be able to bring that stuff into regional broadcasts once in a while. Go ahead, Zach.
Why can't we just do a regular mic'd up and go back and edit it? Like you can see a swing, like you said, sick Nico swing, and you can talk about it in the dugout. Like, yo, he's been doing that and he's been working on this and flips and every day. But like Glaber was mic'd up yesterday in one of the biggest games that they've had, and it's like, I'm out on that. There's no way I'm doing that. Like, if I make an error, maybe you shouldn't have been talking to the fucking broadcast. Like, why can't we just, like, every week NFL comes out with their mic'd up for every game, and it's awesome. It's like a 25-minute video every Monday or every Tuesday. Why can't that be the case?
MLB's trying to do that. They just had something where McCutcheon was mic'd up. They mic'd up like 4 people over the weekend, and they cut some stuff. They're trying to do it. I do think having that person, that broadcaster in your ear to prompt you, can sometimes help. And I also think, like, if you have guys do it for like 3 innings and they do it multiple times a year and they get used to it, you're gonna be able to just not talk, or if something's going on, just be like, gotta lock in, guys, and just like basically take the thing out or ignore it if you're comfortable enough. I think it's when guys are doing it for half an inning and feel like they have to say something or get stuff out there because it's like that one time that you get to do it is when you could feel, but like no one's ever made an error with that thing on, not yet.
I mean, like, I don't know, like, I think it would be really cool to have something mic'd up where, like, you don't think about that you're mic'd up. Like, me and you were in the dugout talking about Scherzer's slider, like, hey, if it starts, like, I feel like that's what people want to hear, where it's like, if I watch the mic'd up on the NFL one, like, I want to hear a quarterback talking like, hey, if you see this guy doing that, like, you got to go off your route and hit the 7-yard in, where it's like, hey, if you see this out of his hand, like, you're obviously not giving any tips away, like, hey, if he does this, but like, yeah, what'd you see there? Like, hey, is it breaking this much? Is it breaking that much? Hey, his slider has a dot, his cutter doesn't. Like, I don't know. I think that's little nuances that the fans would want to hear. Because I love that shit.
Marquee probably mics somebody up once a week for us, but I don't know that the content really gets out there in that format. And the other thing about baseball, I think that can be tough is that just because of the setup of the parks versus the sidelines in the NFL, like a lot of that stuff is captured on the sidelines in the NFL. Like in the dugout, or if you go down under in the tunnel, like the cameras don't really get to like see the players have the conversations or see it as clearly. And so you don't get like that really good bite like you get from NFL games. But I agree with you. I think that it is like, which should be more prevalent. We should be doing more of it. And
yeah, it's just like when I think it's really cool when infielders take, early work for their ground balls too, like 2:00, 2:30. It's kind of like not 1-on-1, but maybe like 3-on-1. I think there's a lot of good conversations in that too. Like, especially with the shifts, like you're going over either what happened the night before, if, there's a play that kind of got dismantled a little bit, or like, what you've been working on. Hey, like, my throws have been sailing. Like, let's get into it. Hey, how did that, like, same thing when you're hitting, I just think the more behind the scenes that we can get without going over any, boundaries, I think that would just be huge for the game.
I've said pretty consistently that to a point, practice is sacred, and that is your alone time in baseball where you're not being judged. But I do think practice is such a cool place in the big leagues that people don't get to see. And like I've said that I would love to do a 2-way mic during batting practice with Marquee. Like, I think being out there shagging fly balls, answering questions could be a really cool segment, or that there are parts like that in the day that aren't as high pressure, that you could capture some really cool stuff that the fans would enjoy. And maybe it'll happen, but let's move to our game I want to play. The game's brought to you by Manscaped. Brought to you by Manscaped. You know what would fix your bloody nose, Dakota? You would fix that bloody nose. Maybe some Manscaped products. Okay, maybe you could get in there. You know what they do have? They have the weed whacker ear and nose hair trimmer. Maybe if you got a little trim going on in there, you wouldn't have all that nosebleed.
That's true. That would help.
Smooth sack summer. That's what we're doing here at Manscaped. You know that you get 20% off and free shipping with code compound at manscaped.com. You guys love the 4.0, don't you? Lawnmower 4.0.
It's got the light and everything. You can go anywhere with it.
It's got, you know what else it has? Cutting edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to advanced skin safe technology. That seems like they've copyrighted that skin safe technology. That seems like a big deal. 7,000 RPM motor. You wouldn't expect that, but you know what it does have?
That'd be-
4,000K. 4,000. This says 4,000K. I don't know if that's 4K LED spotlight. That's the light. You know something about the light. And you know what else? They have 2 free gifts on the Performance Package 4.0, boxers and the said travel bag, and the Shears 2.0. You got to take a look at the Shears 2.0. That's to cut your nails with. A lot of things going on here from Manscaped. That is code compound, manscaped.com, 20% off plus free shipping. Let's play the game. Do you guys want to hear the game?
Yes.
Here's the game. Name your top 3 baseball movies. Brought to you by Manscaped.
Sandlot, Rookie of the Year, Little Big League.
In that order?
No. Rookie of the Year, Little Big League, Sandlot.
Okay. Dakota, brought to you by Manscaped. Were those brought to you by Manscaped, Zach?
Always 4.0.
Major League, Moneyball, and Sandlot.
What about you, Tom?
Tom, would you like to tell us who your hat is?
Yeah. They sent these hats to our office. This is the Swepsonville Sweepers of the Old North State League. They sent a bunch of hats to our office. Everyone in the office got a hat, got a jersey. So I'm going to say this now. If you want to send us a hat to the John Boy office, I will wear it on the next episode of The Compound. So to all of our listeners, you want to send me a hat, I will wear it on the next episode.
Address those packages. Attention, Tom Prizeman. He will have 8,000 hats, and he will wear them like a hat salesman.
I
Tom,
will wear all of them.
Tom, please tell us your top 3 baseball movies brought to you by Manscaped.
Number 1's The Rookie with Dennis Quaid. Great movie. Then I would say Moneyball Major League with the shout out to Little Big League. Little Big League just missed the cut. That was the one that I was debating.
Go, Tom. We got 2 of the same ones. Nice job.
My favorite is Love of the Game with Costner.
Great one.
Number 2 is The Rookie for me with Dennis Quaid. And number 3 is Major League.
Ian, have you seen Little Big League or Rookie of the Year?
I have seen Rookie of the Year. Really like that movie. I have seen Little Big League. Not in my top 5.
AKA, you hate it.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
You didn't even have to say top 5 because the top 3. So you hate it.
Just not my top 5. I answered a lot of questions about obviously Field of Dreams and about baseball movies and everything. And I think it's very interesting, like baseball fans, what movies connect with them. And I think everybody has like a reason why, or like people that you've watched those movies with that make them connect to you, which is pretty cool. And there's a lot of really good baseball movies out there. Costner's been in a few of them. A lot of really good baseball movies out there. I'm surprised nobody said Bull Durham. Bull Durham didn't make the cut for anybody.
What about Benchwarmers?
Benchwarmers.
Yeah, this is a baseball movie, right?
Not a
They play
football
baseball.
movie.
You know, it's
What do you mean?
a bad baseball movie, but I enjoy it still. Is I don't know if you guys ever saw this. Is a big baseball bust movie for Trouble with the Curve. With
the Curve with
I think I have seen that.
yeah, it's like Clint Eastwood,
Clint
as
Eastwood,
a
yeah.
scout who can't see anymore, but he can hear that a guy has a swing defect.
What's
Doesn't make any sense.
the player's name? Bo something?
Yeah, it's like Bo Nix, or that's the guy from Auburn, but it's something like that. It's like Bo, it's like something else.
Oh, Bo.
And like they
Bo.
find some guy on like the street, and then they bring him to the at Brave Stadium at the end.
Throw him
and
the curveball.
And then they go show him the curve, and then he just fucking starts striking him out with the curve. I love it. The ending is incredible. The rest of the movie doesn't make any sense. But I
Bo Gentry.
Bo Gentry, yes.
Gentry. Mr. 3000 is another one that didn't make the
Good
cut
one.
for anybody.
That's I really like Mr. 3000.
A lot of good baseball movies out there.
R.I.P. Bernie Mac.
I'm glad the Rookie made your cut, Tom.
The Rookie's my all-time, probably my second favorite movie of all time. You talk about a movie connecting with you. I was a minor league season ticket holder. So much of that story is about pitching through the minors and stuff. And I actually didn't realize how much of an impact that movie made on me until they closed down the old Rangers Stadium. And if you remember, and obviously the end of that movie makes the ballpark at Arlington look like, like
Heaven.
Yeah. And when they were closing that ballpark, I was like, man, it's one of my few regrets I have in life is that I never got to go to a game there. Cause like, that's such a part of my life, that movie. And like to see the ending of that, I would have loved to have gone. And so
it's one of my favorites. I absolutely loved it. I absolutely love it. The quote, we get to do today, Brooks, we get to play baseball, is one that like sits with me, resonates with me, because you're in the middle of the slog like he was during the year. And you're in game 90 or 120 or 130, like remembering that, like, we get to do today, we get to play baseball. It's pretty fucking cool. But also one of the saddest moments of my career, worst moments of my career, when I got sent down to meet these guys and play with them, I missed the ballpark in Arlington. We opened in 19 in Texas at the ballpark in Arlington the last year, and I was so excited to go there and play there, and the movie meant so much to me. And then I whiffed the series, and it was going to be opening day there. It was going to be so cool, and then I whiffed the series, and
Instead,
I was salty with them.
You got to go see Nashville, even cooler.
Got to open in Nashville with the boys. Yeah, I was really upset that I missed that series.
I'm just happy none of you said Fever Pitch, because I've never seen it and I never will.
Grow up.
Never. You could never pay me to watch that, or 4 Days in October. I'll never watch it. Ever.
There's a part in Fever Pitch where you can literally tell where they changed the ending of the movie. Because the normal ending of the movie is that the ending of the book is that the Red Sox lose. It just happened to be that they filmed it the year the Red Sox won the World Series. Otherwise, the Red Sox are going to lose in the movie as well.
It doesn't. That's a time in my life I blocked it out. That's blank time. Like the captain, I had to like turn it off for a little bit. I had to skip forward when they started talking about that series. I said, nope, not going to do it.
I don't know if you guys know, but that game that we played was brought to you by Manscaped. Is there anything else that you guys would like to discuss before we give the people the Sloan screen time?
I love Scotty.
Nothing.
That's it.
Scotty. Hey, you better tell your fucking people out there to be nice to him.
Listen, I'm leader of the bandwagon.
I was pretty close to yelling at people on Twitter after that Cardinals game. That was fucked.
If you're not nice to Scott Efros, you're not my friend. It's simple.
Yep.
Tom, can I ask you just a quick question?
Zach, if you tweet at people, you're a dork. Zach.
I would never.
You said you were close.
Yeah, because I meant it.
Zach's gonna start texting me. He's like, reply to this guy. Tell him he sucks.
Kidding me?
Tom, can I ask you a quick question while everybody gets their screen time up?
Yeah.
It's presented by Sloan. I don't know if you guys know this, but Sloan makes the best automatic flushers in the game. If you need to automatically flush your toilets or wash your hands without touching the faucet, go to Sloan, find Sloan Valve for all of your needs. Tom, are the people in New York in full panic or half panic? Where are they on the panic scale?
Ooh, I mean, another brutal loss tonight, a 4-0 loss in a game that they were not really that competitive. I mean, it was 1-0 late, but just felt like they were never going to score. It's bad. It's officially a time to be alarmed, I would say. And I don't know.
It is not.
No, it's not, Tom. It's not even September.
Guys,
there's still 10 games up in the division, Tom.
What are we
Everything's
doing?
Gonna be
Do we
fine.
understand
There's
this
70
is a
wins
100
already.
Wait, hold on. You asked me my opinion
season?
that I'm getting yelled at immediately?
Yes, because your opinion's wrong.
It's trash.
Do you understand?
Tom,
this is 162 games.
We're gonna be just fine over there. You know what's hilarious to me is you people as Yankees fans, when you guys say
this is you people, you're saying it like a slur, like a Yankee.
When you guys say another brutal loss, like it was a 4-0 game in August. Okay, it's fine. You guys didn't play an 18-inning banger and lose in a heartbreaker. Like they didn't score 14 in the 7th when you guys were up big. It wasn't a brutal loss.
Tom,
hold on. Can I say
Tom?
this?
Guess what? Because guess what? When the Yankees win the division, does it matter what happened on August 15th? No, doesn't.
And if they lost 11 out of 14 in April, and then they had their absolute banger of a stretch that they had in April right now, you guys would be fucking with shirts off, going crazy.
How many times have we had this conversation with Yankees fans this year where it's like, oh, pack it in, team stinks on April 7th?
I don't think that's fair based on how I've behaved all season. I've said up to this point, I've been pretty feel pretty good.
Oh, so you just wait till August 15th to pack it in.
Okay,
You know
can we
what?
talk about this? Hold on. Let me just, if you're going to come at me, at least I need an opportunity to respond before you
Nope. It's
come
not
at
how it works here.
Yes, well, we have to have some give and take. The Yankees last week had one of the worst losses. You're talking about a really bad game. I don't know if either of you guys
So we're dating back earlier in August.
Can I just finish a sentence before you
You go to Memorial Day too?
I promise I will let you talk. Just let me finish the sentence. They had one of the worst games I've ever seen. It was a 13-inning game in which they had more base runners thrown out on the bases than batters come up in extra innings. Okay, they had in 3 consecutive innings, guys picked off the bases. They had 5 guys get thrown out of the bases in extra innings. All right.
You know what?
I feel like at that point, I'm allowed to start being like, I'm a little concerned that this team can't run second to third.
Why not take the positives that the starting pitching and bullpen kept that a 0-0 game?
Yeah.
And hey, no, it's my turn. Hey, Tom, no.
Give and take.
And down the road, that won't happen again. That's a good thing that it happened in August. That's a great thing. Get that out. Learn from it.
It's 5 guys thrown out of the bases. That's swell. I think you guys should try that tomorrow.
You know what? It is a good thing because then what happens? You go from 11 and a half games up to 11. Shoot.
Gosh
darn it.
Can I just say what my biggest fear is for Yankees fans this year? My biggest fear for Yankees fans is that this team is going to win the division by somewhere in the 5 to 15 game range, and no one's going to enjoy it.
No one's going to enjoy that Aaron Judge is on pace to hit a lot of homers.
Do you think Yankees fans ever enjoy anything?
That makes me sad.
120 games, they'd be like, how do we lose 42? That should never happen.
Like, yeah, obviously you want to win the World Series, but why not enjoy that you're in first place by so much and your team can afford to go through an August slump?
And you have the best closer in baseball. His name's Scott Effross.
Yeah, he's on the cover of the Post. He's on the cover of the Daily News. Like, come on.
I just think whenever, and Yankees fans don't have to deal with this very often, but when there's a year, what was the year 14 that they were bad, or one of those years that they were bad?
They're never bad.
14, they missed the playoffs.
If they're ever bad, or if they're ever an 80-win team, an 83-win team, like grinding to make the play, they make the playoffs, but they finish second division, they get the wild card, and they're 85-win team. Every time that happens, Yankees fans will go, man, I wish we had that team back from 2022 that won 97 games and won the division. Well, we were up 15 games for the entire year. That was nice. But when they're in the middle of it, it's like they're just so mad. Stop being so mad.
I feel like, hey,
watch tomorrow. They're going to go
an ambush. You guys asked me one question.
Brought to you by Sloan. Ambush brought to you by Sloan. Tell me your screen time.
4 hours and 5 minutes.
6:31.
4:32 for me.
7:39.
How much of that 7:39 was spent on Yankees Twitter tweeting about mad things?
I've tweeted 0 mad things. I feel like you guys have seen me all year. I've not been panicked all year. I do think when you're like, I'm not like losing my mind, but I think you're allowed to feel disappointed after they've had a stretch where they've gone like 1-11 or whatever.
It's the only thing that I have to say is it's funny because, like, not saying you, Tom, but Yankees fans that are panicked right now, when the Yankees rattle off 12 in a row, they'd be like, they fixed all the problems.
That's like
they're back. It's like,
it's going to be
the same team. They're still good.
It's going to be one guy coming back from the IL, or like there's going to be one story about like Aaron Boone got the boys in the room, and there's going to be like, there's a.
I saw Jake tweet something like, we need this bullpen arm instead of this bullpen arm. I'm like, that's the fix. That's the fix is one.
But it's like, think about it. You lost Matt Carpenter to like a heartbreaking, like,
he'll be back though.
That sucks taking out of our lineup. Okay, let's get over that. Giancarlo Stanton's still not playing. Like, guys are going through it. Riz's back's hurt. LeMahieu just got hurt. Hey, let's be at full strength.
Riz was down for a little bit. You have the bullpen was too good. It's not fair because the bullpen was too good early. They had to regress to the statistical mean. They're going to be great still, but that stuff happens.
You know the best part about people freaking out about Clay Holmes? He still has the 2 ERA.
Yeah.
And it's like,
he stinks now. Like he'll never get outs again.
He'll be just fine. All right, guys, let's wrap it up. That was the Sloan Screen Time, and that was the Sloan Ambush. That's a new segment. We're going to ambush Tom at the end of every episode. It's going to be great. We'll see you next week for episode 123, presented by Parsley Rum. I love Parsley. You love Parsley.